In the heart of a vast, sun-soaked valley, two prospectors carved out their dreams amidst the rough terrain. Dust rose around them, clinging to their skin and filling their lungs as they worked tirelessly in search of gold. The taller one, Jack, was optimistic and driven, his eyes shining with the promise of riches. He had spent years studying maps and listening to old-timers speak about hidden treasures beneath the ground. Beside him stood his partner, Tom, shorter and stockier, with a furrowed brow that seldom relaxed. Tom had been through many hard days in the field and often let skepticism creep into his thoughts. Despite Jack's excitement about discovering untold wealth, Tom's mind raced with doubts and fears about their quest for fortune. He sometimes wondered if chasing gold was just a dream that would lead to heartache. As they dug deeper into the rocky earth, their hands grew calloused, but hope lingered like an unyielding flame. Each swing of the shovel brought them one step closer to uncovering something extraordinary, or so Jack believed. The day was hot and heavy, as if the sky itself was pressing down upon them. Little did they know that today would be unlike any other in their adventure. With every shovelful of dirt tossed aside, both men were on the edge between desperation and potential discovery, a moment that could change everything for them. Jack wiped the sweat from his brow, glancing over at Tom, whose frown deepened with every strike of the shovel. For Jack, the dream of finding gold was more than just a desire, it was an unyielding passion that fueled his every move. He envisioned a future filled with wealth that would redefine their lives. They could buy land, settle down, and perhaps even open a general store to serve fellow miners. To him, the glimmering gold wasn't just a metal, it was freedom. Tom, on the other hand, had a different perspective. While he appreciated Jack's enthusiasm, doubt gnawed at him like a persistent rat. He recounted stories of lost souls who had chased after gold only to end up empty-handed or worse, broken-hearted and poor. Tom preferred the comfort of certainty rather than abstract dreams that sparkled like fool's gold in the sun. Yet as they dug deeper into the earth, something stirred within him, a hint of hope illuminated by Jack's relentless belief. Perhaps they would find real treasure today. Maybe digging was worth those tired muscles and aching backs, especially if it meant transforming their lives. That day felt special, charged with possibility as they exchanged determined glances between shovelfuls of dirt. The valley echoed with the sounds of their labor, each scoop bringing them closer to making their wild dreams a reality, or revealing whether fate had other plans for them instead. It was a moment suspended in time. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows as Jack and Tom continued their relentless digging. Each swing of the shovel felt heavier than the last, and fatigue began to seep into their bones. Dust clung to their clothes, making them feel gritty and worn out. Jack's enthusiasm was beginning to wane as exhaustion took hold, but he pushed through, believing that every shovelful of dirt could bring them closer to their dreams. Tom paused for a moment, resting his hands on his knees. He looked at the ground they had covered and thought about how many times they had done this before without success. The weight of doubt hung over him like a storm cloud. He wished he could share Jack's excitement, but the harsh reality of their situation loomed large in his mind. As the day dragged on, the heat became almost unbearable. Sweat dripped from their brows, mixing with the dust on their faces. They took turns gulping water from their canteens, trying to keep their spirits up despite the weariness. Jack tried to lighten the mood with stories of what they would do when they struck it rich, how they would celebrate and share their fortune with friends back home. Tom half smiled but couldn't shake off his unease. Still, there was something in Jack's words that ignited a flicker of hope within him. With each exhausting stroke of the shovel, both men remained determined to uncover whatever lay hidden beneath the earth. Just as the sun began to dip low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the valley, Jack's shovel hit something solid with a resounding thud. He paused, heart racing, and looked over at Tom, who was wiping sweat from his forehead. "Did you hear that?" Jack exclaimed, excitement bubbling up inside him. Tom straightened up, his skepticism momentarily forgotten. "What did you find?" he asked, eyes narrowing in curiosity. Jack knelt down, carefully brushing away the dirt that had fallen onto the object. With each sweep of his hand, anticipation swelled between them. Finally, as Jack cleared away the last bits of earth, a gleam of bright yellow caught the fading sunlight. "Gold!" he shouted, unable to contain his elation. The sight of the rich, glimmering metal sent a shockwave of joy through him. It was more than just a nugget, it was a symbol of hope and dreams realized. Tom leaned closer, his earlier doubts melting away as he beheld the golden treasure. For a moment, time stood still. They exchanged wide-eyed glances filled with disbelief and exhilaration. "We did it!" Jack laughed, unable to hold back his glee. As they celebrated this unexpected victory, Tom felt a new sense of faith in their journey. The weight of their hardships suddenly seemed lighter. Together, they had discovered something remarkable, a moment that would forever change their lives and solidify their partnership in pursuit of fortune. Tom leaned in closer, squinting at the glimmering nugget Jack had unearthed. For a moment, he felt a rush of disbelief wash over him. The sparkly gold had always been something he thought existed only in stories or dreams, but here it was, resting in Jack's hands. As Jack celebrated, Tom's heart raced, but his reaction was mixed with a twinge of anxiety. "Is it really gold?" he asked cautiously, brushing dirt off his own trembling hands. He was torn between excitement and doubt. Could this discovery actually change their lives for the better? Memories of failed prospecting trips flooded his mind, the many hours spent searching without reward and the harsh lessons learned along the way. As Jack jumped up and down, filled with joy, Tom's expression shifted. While he wanted to share in Jack's celebration, he felt a growing worry that their fortune might not last. What if they didn't have the skills to extract the gold from the earth properly? What if someone else heard about their find and came looking for it? Tom took a deep breath as Jack's exuberance filled the air. He realized that this moment could either pull them closer together or tear them apart. With a determined look, he reached deep inside himself to silence his fears and decided to support Jack's ambitious spirit. They would face whatever challenges lay ahead as a team and find a way to turn this treasure into a future they both could believe in. As the excitement of their discovery began to settle, a tense silence fell over Jack and Tom. Fueled by adrenaline, Jack started making plans for how they would extract the gold and what they would do next. "We need to get more tools," he said eagerly, "and maybe even pay for some help to dig this out properly. This could be huge." Tom, however, couldn't shake his unease. "Hold on a second, Jack," he replied, his voice steady but firm. "What if we don't know how to handle this? We could end up losing everything if we're not careful." Jack's enthusiasm faltered. "Are you kidding me? We've finally struck gold. Why would we hesitate now? We need to act fast before someone else finds out." His excitement turned into frustration as he waved his arms wildly. "But rushing in could ruin us," Tom countered, his heart racing. "What if we dig too quickly? What if we don't secure this place properly? People will find out about the gold, and we'll have thieves at our door." The air crackled with tension as Jack stepped back, feeling hurt that Tom couldn't share in his joy. "You always look for reasons not to believe. This is our chance. Maybe I'm just trying to keep us safe." Tom shot back, desperation creeping into his voice. As both men stood their ground, the dream they had shared began to feel precarious, threatening to unravel over their differing views on how to proceed. After several moments of heated debate, the tension in the air began to shift. Jack took a deep breath, his chest rising and falling as he struggled to regain his composure. "Look," he said, his voice softer now, "I get that you're worried about what could happen. But we've worked too hard to let this slip away from us. We need to take a step forward." Tom looked at Jack's earnest expression, and his heart softened. He felt the weight of Jack's determination and realized that despite their differences, they were both after the same goal. "I know," he replied, nodding slightly. "I don't want to lose this chance either. But we need a plan that takes our safety into account." "I agree," Jack said thoughtfully. "What if we take a little more time to prepare? We can gather tools, research how to safely extract the gold, and keep an eye out for any trouble. Tom felt a flicker of hope ignite within him as he considered this compromise. And we can bring in some experts who know what they're doing, he added. Jack smiled, relief washing over him. Exactly. We can make this work together. With their decision made, both men felt a renewed sense of purpose settle over them. They had transformed their argument into a plan, one that honored both their ambitions and concerns. United in their resolve, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in pursuit of their dreams, together. With their plan set, Jack and Tom felt a renewed sense of energy as they resumed digging. The sun was high in the sky, casting a golden light over the valley, and the air buzzed with anticipation. They worked diligently, carefully clearing the area around where Jack had found the gold nugget. Each swing of the shovel felt purposeful, and the rhythm of their labor began to sync. Suddenly, as Jack plunged his shovel into the earth once more, it struck something firm with a sound that resonated through the air like a drumbeat. He paused, heart pounding in his chest. "Did you hear that?" he asked, eyes wide with excitement. Tom stopped too, wiping sweat from his brow as he leaned closer to see what Jack had uncovered. "What is it?" he urged, a mix of hope and anxiety flickering in his expression. Jack knelt down and began to clear away the dirt with his hands, revealing more gleaming bits of gold embedded in the ground. "It's more than just a nugget. Look," he exclaimed, unable to contain his joy. As they unearthed larger pieces glinting in the sunlight, both men felt a rush of exhilaration. Tom's doubts melted away in that moment as he caught Jack's infectious enthusiasm. They were no longer just prospectors, they were partners on an incredible journey filled with promise. Together they celebrated this remarkable find, a culmination of hard work and perseverance, knowing that this moment could change everything for them both. Their dreams were now within reach, and they were ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. As Jack and Tom stood triumphantly over their newfound treasure, the weight of their journey settled in. They took a moment to reflect on how far they had come, not just as prospectors but as a team. Jack glanced at Tom, who was still processing the reality of their discovery. "I couldn't have done this without you," he said earnestly. "Your caution kept us grounded when I was ready to rush in." Tom nodded, feeling a swell of gratitude. "And your optimism pulled me through my doubts. I thought we were just chasing a dream, but you believed in our work." They shared a smile, realizing that their differences had shaped their success rather than hindered it. In that moment of connection, they recognized the importance of teamwork. Each brought unique strengths to the partnership. Jack's enthusiasm and vision complemented Tom's practicality and caution. It was this balance that had allowed them to navigate the challenges they faced together. As they began planning how to extract the gold more carefully, they discussed strategies to safeguard their find. "We should think about hiring some local experts," Tom suggested, recalling the advice they'd heard from seasoned miners. Jack agreed, appreciating Tom's approach to ensure safety. Feeling invigorated by their collaboration, both men understood that this success was only the beginning. They were no longer just two prospectors digging for gold, they were partners embarking on an adventure filled with promise, ready to face whatever came next, together. As Jack and Tom stood before their newfound treasure, the reality of their dreams began to take shape. They envisioned a future where they could finally enjoy the fruits of their labor. "We can build a life here," Jack said, his eyes sparkling with possibilities. "Imagine having a small ranch, maybe even a store for other miners." Tom nodded, feeling a warmth in his heart. "And we can help others who are struggling like we did," he added thoughtfully. "We could offer advice or even create a community where everyone supports each other." The prospect of a shared future ignited their imaginations. They spent hours discussing plans, from building a sturdy home to planting crops that could sustain them. Each idea fueled their excitement and solidified their bond as partners in both work and life. As they prepared to extract the gold safely, they also took time to reflect on the lessons learned from their journey. They understood that success wasn't just about striking gold, it was about the friendships forged along the way and the challenges faced together. With their eyes set on the horizon, they knew this was only the beginning of their adventure. They felt stronger and more united than ever, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Their dreams were no longer distant fantasies but tangible goals within reach, and together, they were determined to make them a reality, one shovel at a time.